Predictive Discovery Limited is an ASX-listed company. I'm joined by the company's Managing Director, Paul Roberts. Paul, great to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Remy.
Well, your company is a prospect generator business model, and I understand you are centered in West Africa. So can you tell me about the projects that are located there and the competitive advantage that your team has?
We have a very large ground position in 3 countries in West Africa. And that's a position that's expanding. We have projects in all stages of advancement, from relatively advanced through to grassroots projects, and we're actively augmenting the property portfolio. We're focused on West Africa. We're the only prospect generator that is focused on West Africa. We have a strong technical team, but we also have the advantage of other technical teams from our very well qualified partners, all of whom are working towards making discovery. And I think the other most important point is that being the only prospect generator, we are the best placed company if you want a multi-project portfolio approach in West Africa. And West Africa is the most exciting place in the world right now for mine development. The last 12 months we've seen 6 or 7 new mines, substantial new mines coming along, ranging up to Fekola, which is hundreds of thousands of ounces a year. And behind that there's a portfolio of projects which are in pre-development, and behind that there's a bunch of discoveries, including discoveries that we've made on our own ground.
And Paul, I also understand that there was a new gold discovery in Côte d'Ivoire very recently in June, so that must be very exciting. Now that you've told us about the gold projects that you have in West Africa, can you tell me about the opportunity investing in your company?
Well, the opportunity lies in that in any one of these projects, like for example this Fakessadougu North project, which is absolutely brand new, never been drilled before, best intercept of 13 metres of 5.5 grams, stopped mineralisation in a zone of mineralisation which is the cumulative width is more than 100 metres wide. A little bit more drill results in those kinds of areas, so that the market can see that this is expanding into something that looks like it's going to be a substantial resource, and we'll see a really major uplift in the value of the company. This is the opportunity for the investor.
And Paul, I'd like to get a good idea of your background as well as your management team. So what kind of experience and expertise do you bring, and what does your team bring to the table?
Well, I'm a geologist. I've been in the business for a long time. I've worked across 3 continents. I've worked in Australia, I've worked in West Africa. I've been going to West Africa ever since the company was founded in 2007, so I have more than a decade in West Africa. I've worked in South America. I speak 3 languages. I've worked across the full spectrum from grassroots exploration through to mine development and mine geology, feasibility studies. In terms of the rest of my team, we have Barry Murphy, who's the chief geologist, very long experience in multiple commodities, doing project generation type work, critically important skill for a prospect generator, who's worked closely with me all through the life of the company so far. We have Aida Tambura, who's a manager for us in West Africa, decades of experience, very strong networks through the whole of West Africa, through her involvement in the mining industry, Chamber of Mines, Women in Mining. And then currently the senior geologist who's running our program in Mali, Amy Naganari, was the head of the Geological Survey of the Central African Republic, worked on the Pasendro discovery in CAR, obviously bilingual and a very dynamic person. He's driving our program forward at the moment.
Well, Paul, it's no secret that for prospect generators, you need a very strong management team. Now, we're here at the Sprott Natural Resources Symposium, and there has been a lot of discussion about precious metals and how soft the market is. But you sound like you know a lot about cycles in the market when it comes to the metals space. So where do you think we are in the cycle?
Well, I think that in terms of gold prices, obviously the gold prices have come off a little bit. We can see there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty in the world. There's no question that there's a place for gold. There's also no question that supply of new mines is not exceeding demand. But if you want to think of a place where new mines are going to come on stream, then you're going to think in West Africa. So I think that supply-demand fundamentals are in our favour. I think that this ongoing rolling uncertainty will draw people to gold, to the gold price. It's very difficult to predict when, but the gold price over time, I think we can reasonably expect to be on an upward trend. And so gold, even though it's an old stayer, remains in terms of the junior mining sector the best place to be.
Okay, Paul, well, thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for all your insight into your company as well as the marketplace.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.